Good morning, students. Welcome to your second online geography class. In the first class, you know that we had done the third chapter, that is the first topic of the third chapter, that is underpopulation and overpopulation. We had completed till the meaning of underpopulation. Now we shall be doing the last topic for underpopulation, that is impact. What are the effects that underpopulation has on the people or the society? Now, first impact of underpopulation is unstable economy, meaning underpopulation has a negative effect on the economy, causing deflation. Decrease, that means deflation means it decreases in the overall the prices level, decreases of goods and services. Alright, now the second point, decrease in pollution. This is a positive. Now you always have to remember is there are two sides of the same coin. So there is always a positive as well as a negative impact of underpopulation in a country. Obviously the positive impact would be because the number of people are less, the amount of pollution, the level of pollution will decrease. The depletion of resources will not take place. Alright, so now decrease in pollution and environmental problems also. The pressure on natural resources and the basic infrastructure of the area decreases. Levels of pollution also decreases because the number of people living in that area is less, so the level of pollution will also decrease, and the pressure that is being put on the natural resources is also very low. Okay, now population aging. Now, due to the decreased rate of procreation, we already did a topic, causes of underpopulation, that is the first topic, fertility rate, where I told you that the number of children that a woman is giving birth, the number of children a woman is giving birth has reduced only to 2 children or 2 child per woman. Alright, because what is happening in the society, women are getting educated. We have reached the modern society where women in the society are being educated and are also having full-time jobs. So they do not have much time in their hand to look after more number of children. So the number of child per woman is decreasing. So you can see that the fertility rate or the number of children being born is reducing. So this reduces the number of population, resulting in underpopulation. Another one is labor shortage. Now, if there are less number of people in the society and if you require labor or if you require individuals to do some work for you, then the demand of these laborers will be high, but supply will be less. Why? Is because the number of laborers working in the society is less. Declining populations could create labor shortage, which would have both positive and negative effects. Now, why negative effect is because simple, whenever you require a labor for doing any work at home, then the individuals will not be present in the society because the number of laborers are less. But on the other hand, what is the positive effect is that because there are less number of laborers, all these workers will somehow or the other have work or a job in their hand. There is no competition. Alright, okay. Now, this is the last point for this chapter, which is a comparative study between Canada and Tanzania. Alright, so it is in page number 31. This is the last page of the chapter. Now, a comparative study, now you don't have to do this in detail, but this is just for your understanding. Now, you have to understand, just because we are doing population, when we are talking about high population, when we are talking about less population, it does not mean that a country which is large in size will have more population. Alright, and on the other hand, it does not mean that just because the size of a country is small, the population will also be less. Alright, It may be, it may not be. So here we are going to do a comparative study between Canada and Tanzania. Now Canada is the second largest in size after Russia. So Canada is the second largest in size after Russia in the world. So even though it has a very huge area, the population is less. The number of empty land is very, very high, or the area of empty land is very, very high in Canada. Alright. The population, now you are comparing with Tanzania. Canada is a very large country, but on the other hand, Tanzania is a small country in Africa. The population of Canada, the details are given in the book, that is in page 31. In this green box, so you can see you can have a look at the comparison that is done here. So Canada large in size, Tanzania small in size, and the map is also given. If you look at this in this globe, this is the bigger one is the size of Canada, and on the other globe the dark spot, that small dark spot which is given here in the continent Africa, it is Tanzania. Alright, so Canada is large in size, Tanzania is small in size, but Canada has a very low population, and Tanzania, even though it is a very small country in the continent Africa, the population when you compare with Canada is extremely high. So if you look at this population, Canada has 34.4 million people, whereas Tanzania has a higher number of people, that is 48.3 million people. Okay, now the gross domestic product, that means the amount of development, the amount of produce that is done in the society, the amount of money that is earned, the amount of things that is produced in the society is very, very high, extremely high as compared to Tanzania. Canada is a rich country, whereas Tanzania is a very poor country. So you have to remember all these points. Alright, so this is the last part of the chapter. We have completed chapter number 3. Alright, now I shall be continuing with the 4th chapter, that is migration. Alright, okay, now why I am doing the beginning or the introduction of this part is because all these chapters are linked to each other. Right, so we shall be doing only half of the chapter, not everything. Now migration, what do you mean by migration? In simple terms, when a person or an individual moves from one place to another, it is known as migration. So when we say one place to another, what do you understand? When we say one place to another, we mean from a particular geographical boundary. Alright, that means you are crossing a geographical boundary. For example, suppose you are moving from Kalimpong. The area Kalimpong has its own boundaries. Now it has its own areas, own demarcation. Now when somebody is moving from Kalimpong to Calcutta, or from India to America or some other European country, what are they doing? They are migrating from one place to another. Now in this chapter we shall be doing about what is migration, what are the causes of migration, the different types of migration, and the impact or the effects of migration on the society as a whole. Alright, okay, now what do you mean by migration? Page number, this is the first chapter, this is the first page of chapter number 4, page number 35. Now what is migration? This is the definition. Migration is the crossing of boundaries of a political or administrative unit for a certain period of time. It may be you are migrating for a particular reason, or you may be migrating for permanently to reside for many reasons. We'll do that later on. Or it may be some migration due to temporary reasons. Alright. So, first causes. The first topic is causes of migration. In your book, it's given 4 different reasons or 4 different causes. Alright. Now, the first one is economic migration. Second one, social migration. Third one, political migration. And the fourth and the last one is environmental causes for migration. Now, we shall do this in detail. Now, what do you mean by economic migration? Economic migration, whenever the reason for migration is economic reason, that means, when I always tell you in class, when we say economics, anything, money is involved. Alright, in simple terms, money is involved. That means you are moving from one place to another in search of jobs. One is, you don't have a job in your place, you go looking for a job. Another reason is, same thing, economic reason. You already have a job in one place, but now you want a better paying job. Same for monetary reason. One is to earn money because you don't have a job. Another one is to earn more money. Alright, there's a difference. So, to find work or pursue a particular career. Alright. Now, next one is social migration. Alright. Now, many people in your family or somebody, uncle, aunt or your brother may be working in cities like Bangalore, Calcutta, Delhi. And they've worked for many reasons. Alright. Now, what happens is, after many years, they are away from home for so many years that they want to come back. Alright. They want to return home. But that does not mean they want to leave their job. They still want to earn. Yes, you have to earn for basic requirements. So what do they do is, since they want to be, sometimes family may be the reason, other times friends may be the reason. Sometimes 2 friends working in 2 different cities may want to stay together and work together. So a friend working in Calcutta may migrate to Bangalore to stay with his or her friend and work together. So that may be one social reason. And the other one is because somebody is working away from their families for so many years, they want to come back home, stay with their family and continue working in some other organization. Alright, so they sometimes take a transfer or they look for new jobs which is closer to their family. Alright, so that is the social migration. And in the book it's written, moving to be closer to family and friends or for better quality of life. Now, third one is political migration. Now, when we say political migration, we are talking about people moving from one place to another because there is a war going on in their country. First reason, there is a civil war. That means people within the country are fighting with each other. One kind of war. Another war is their country is in war with some other country. Alright, second type of war. Now, the third point that is given here is political persecution. Alright, now when we say political persecution, remember I had given an example of Nirav Modi, a man called Nirav Modi, and I asked you to go back home and find out about the person named Nirav Modi, and also two person, I don't know how many of you all remember, but there I gave an example of 2 people. One is the owner of Kingfisher Airlines, alright, Vijay Mallya, and the other one is Nirav Modi. He is a diamond businessman, a diamond merchant from Gujarat. Alright, now what happened is these 2 persons, they took loans, a huge amount of loan from banks. What did they do? They were unable, they took a huge amount of loan from the bank, but they were unable to pay back the amount that they took from the bank. Now, when they were unable to pay back, a case was filed against them and they were supposed to be caught by the police and put behind bars. But what did they do? Before they were caught by the police or before they were persecuted, punished by the government, they ran away. Alright, so these two people have migrated or moved away permanently to stay in some other countries, fearing, because of the fear that they will be caught and punished by the government. Alright, so this is the political migration. The fourth one is environmental, and this is the easiest one. When we say environmental causes, you are given examples of, and it was correct, earthquakes, it is a natural cause. Then we have floods, all right. Then we have famine, droughts. So whenever there is, sometimes in places like in Taiwan, I give an example of Taiwan. Taiwan is a place where there is frequent, and Japan also, there is a frequent occurrence of earthquakes in these two places. So people tend to migrate from these type of places to some other place where they would not be facing the same kind of problem. Alright. Now in also places like the coastal areas of Bangladesh, alright, where the world's largest delta is present, in Guwahati, in Assam, these places are flooded. Almost every monsoon, these places are flooded, and many people, they lose their lives and also their property. So what they tend to do is they tend to move away from these places so that they will not be facing the same kind of problem. So here we've done 4 causes of migration. First is the economic cause, that means that it's to earn money or for looking for jobs. Second one is social migration, that is you want to be close to your friends and your families. The third one is political migration, war or fear of persecution by the government. And the fourth one is environmental causes, that means because of occurrence of earthquakes, floods, volcanoes, people living in these areas where there is frequent occurrence of earthquakes, volcanoes, they tend to move from these places to some other place. Alright, okay. Now what are the factors of migration? What are the reasons of migration? Okay, now before I start, in the book straight away they've given the factors, but I want to tell you, before looking directly going to push and pull factor, I'd like to tell you something about the types of migration. Now migration, there are 2 types of migration. Alright, now there are two types of, and these 2 types of migration have been subdivided into many parts. Alright, so first we are going to do the first 2 main types of migration, that is, and this we had done in the previous class also. Alright, so for those who do not understand, please have a look at the previous video before you start with this video. The first is immigration. Immigration, focus on the word I, or sorry, the letter I, and here emigration. Now here you have to focus on the letter E. Alright, now migration means people are moving, they are moving from one place to another. That means some people are moving inside a place, some people are moving outside a place. Alright, now there are 2 words, immigration, one is inside and one is outside. Now how are you going to, I've always taught you the technique of remembering which is coming in and which is going out. Now I for in, yes, and E for exit, yes or no? So see, you can see that we've already done this. Like I said there, both the chapters are related to each other. So the topic is going to come again and again. Alright, so it's going to be repeated. So immigration is the movement of people from another place inside a particular place. Now in the book it's given source and destination. Destination. So when you are moving out of the source and going to a destination, that means you are moving out. that means what is happening? Immigration is taking place. Exit, that means you are moving out of the place, and now you are going to a destination. It may be a country, or it may be just you are moving from the rural area to the town area. All right, so emigration and immigration. So immigration means you are moving into a country, and emigration means you are moving out of a country. All right, so these two type of emigration and immigration. All right, now in detail, different types of emigration and immigration we'll be doing in detail, but I just wanted to do this topic before we start with push factor and pull factor. All right, now immigration coming in, immigration moving out. Now if you look at the arrow, somebody is coming inside, that means they are being attracted. They are being attracted to a place, and it is, this place is pulling. That means it is attracting people and it is pulling people to this area. All right, now here what is happening is people are moving out, so people are being pushed. All right, people are being pushed, and here people are being pulled towards the place. Now the factors or the reason, the reason why immigration and emigration takes place is known as the push factor and the pull factor. Push factor and the factors. There are many reasons, not only one. Factors. All right, push factors and the pull factors. So we shall be doing just the pull factor and the push factors. So there may be so many reasons. You don't have to look at a book. I always tell you can give your own examples based on your own understanding. But for those who are not unable to find their own answers, they can look at the book. So we'll just do 3. All right. Now immigration, people are moving out. So one reason what you can give is, first is jobs. That means the number of jobs available in this place is high, so people are attracted to this place. Now in this place the number of jobs are less. All right, so people do not have enough jobs available, the society does not have enough jobs, so these people tend to migrate out. Another one is, we'll just do 3. All right, education. The quality of education in this place is better than the quality of education in this place. All right, so the quality of education in the destination is better than the quality of education in the source place. All right, another factor which you can give okay, medical facilities. All right, medical facilities. So what happens is, especially in the rural areas, you don't have big hospitals with better supply of equipments and readily available facilities there. So what happens, people tend to migrate from the rural areas, which is the source, to destinations, which is towns and cities. All right, looking for better medical facilities. All right, now especially what happens is, this reason, most people migrate for this reasons when you are affected with chronic diseases. All right, and you have to regularly visit hospitals and medical centers. So these type of people or these families tend to migrate from the rural areas or from areas which do not have better medical facilities to an area where there is better medical facility. All right, so this is the end of this session. We shall be continuing with this chapter in the next class. All right, okay, thank you.